Naveena, how was your new year?
Oh, thank you, Emily. It was wonderful and it was great and amazing year. And I think it's a great start for me to start with Polestar podcast, and I'm really excited. Thank you so much for your invite.
Yeah, we're so excited to have you. I can't believe we've already gotten into 2025. I feel like I just said it was 2022 and now I have to try to write 2025 on my calendar, on my
Yes,
everything I'm typing, everything I'm writing out. It went
time
fast.
flies by. I can vouch for that.
It does. I remember my grandparents telling me that, and I didn't believe them when I was little. And now that I've aged, yes, it goes faster. So we keep getting more people joining. We're just going to give a couple of more minutes before we get started and introduce our amazing guest for today. Nice crowd is starting to come in. So Naveena and I are both sitting here in Dallas, and out the window in front of me, I can still see a little bit of snow.
Oh, you see already?
I have a little bit that's still there from your last week's snowstorm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay, I think we'll kick off. So again, welcome to today's episode. As I mentioned, it is our first episode of 2025. So we're really excited for today's guest. Our topic today, we're going to talk about the transformative power of generative AI, particularly in healthcare, but beyond that as well, and how we can use AI to create a real world impact. So our guest today is Naveena Allampalli. Am I saying your last name right?
Absolutely.
That's excellent. She is an incredible leader in tech who's been an avid, not only student of AI, but a user of AI, using it both in her corporate career and outside of the office. So for all of you listening today, no matter where you are in your tech career, whether you're just starting out or you've been in the game for years, this episode is going to have something for you. We're going to be sharing actionable strategies to help you move forward and make your mark in the world of AI. So I am Emily Maldonado. I am your host, and I'm the Area Vice President for North America here at Polestar. I'm so excited to welcome Naveena. She has over 20 years of experience in generative AI data solutions. She's recognized as an expert in the field. She is a global senior director and leads cutting-edge AI initiatives, actively shaping the future of AI education. Her bio is about this long, so many amazing things that she has done, serving on several university advisory boards and a key member of Dallas Regional Chamber's Innovation Task Force. There, she's advocating for responsible AI and economic development in Texas. And that's not all. On top of all of that, Naveena is also a passionate mentor and advocate for women in tech, always pushing to create opportunities for female leaders. So we are so excited to have you here today, Naveena. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Emily, and thank you for the great introduction. I really appreciate it for taking time and having me on this show. It's a great honor for me to be here, and I've been looking forward, in fact. So thank you so much for that.
Yes, thanks for joining. So before getting into our topic on generative AI's role in accelerating research, so one of the things that you work on is rare disease research and drug discovery. What we want to do is talk first about your role as a leader, as a mentor, and some of those strategies that you use for success. So with all of your experience, I'd love to know, some defining moments in your leadership journey.
Absolutely, Emily, and thank you for that great question. And it's an honor to be here, as I mentioned. And thank you, everyone, for joining us this morning. I know it's early in the morning to get started. We are in Dallas. We are getting started over here. But I appreciate for that question. And to answer your question, Emily, is in fact, I've been very, very fortunate from early of my career, even till date, I can say, to be working with top leaders and mentors who have shaped me who I am today. In fact, they have significantly influenced my leadership style. in these are not just the leaders, but they are one who everybody would love to follow. In my life, that's what I've seen is they are the people of influence. You see some people, you just want to feel and be inspired just by being around them. And I think I was one of those lucky persons, who were very fortunate to be mentored by such leaders and who've been working with such leaders of people of influence and people who were able to influence others and able to follow others. And I think the common thing wherein I usually ask myself is, what is that people love to follow about them, right? And
Yeah.
these are the leaders I've seen is this one common trait that is very much around across all these leaders is they have very, very high emotional intelligence. In fact, what I have observed, basically from my being a young professional to where I am today, is these leaders, they make the people feel valued, number one. And it is so important, and it's something which I've seen across all the leaders. They make the people feel valued. Secondly is they make people feel inspired. I mean, as I mentioned, just even being around them, you get that sense of feeling inspired. You must have noticed they are like charismatic
Yeah.
leaders where you just want to be, with them because you learn so much and you get inspired so much with that. I think that's one of the things. And finally, I think one more additional trait I have seen is they make you empowered. So, pretty much, they provide you a platform to succeed, to unlock your potential opportunities. So, I think this is the real question I have for everybody, in fact, is how do we even develop a culture where we are feeling valued, we're feeling inspired and empowered, right? It's so important, right, for companies where they are working consistently around these values. I think that's where they develop a great culture. And it's always so passionate that I work for organizations where they have great culture and where the leaders have been who we are today is not just because of our ability, but it's also because of the leaders who have supported us and who have brought in a good culture where and provided us a platform to grow. And if you want to really, one of the things I want to say is, if you really want to become a person or a leader where people want to follow us, not because of the titles what we have, but what we can contribute to them. And if you want to be people of influence, definitely we need a heart to care. The
Yeah.
reason I say is why we need a heart to care is if you have a heart to care, this will convey the value to them that you are valued, you are heard, and you're always remember a leader how they made us feel. And I always see that, as Maya Angelou, you must have heard about her. She's one of the very good speakers. And in fact, and her quote says is, I've heard that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. I think it's important, the leadership style where we are people of influence as leaders and everybody is a leader around us. If we are people of influence, it's important to understand the culture, how important it is for organization, for leaders to have a culture where we are adapting to value people, inspiring people and empowering them. I think that's what's my journey all over the years, and there are significantly definitely other leadership principles have been there that has influenced, but up the top the culture is the number one thing I can think about where it has influenced me significantly. And as a human being, I think the core values are important for us to become leaders where we can really lay the platform for our future generation and future leaders.
I love that you told that story. It's funny, as you were telling that story, I instantly had one of my leaders pop into my head and visualize the way that she had inspired us as employees. And you connect so much, and exactly what I felt was the feeling that I felt when I was under her leadership. So such an important thing. Do you have any specific transformative type of an experience that maybe you went through that you think really significantly impacted your current leadership style? I know we talked about the feeling and the culture, any specific experience that you've gone through?
Absolutely. I mean, there were times where I needed mentorship. There were
Yeah.
times where, where I have done mistakes, where there were times,
Sure.
but it's again, as I mentioned to you, is where, the leadership is where they have created me an opportunity to even unlock what my potential opportunities could be, right? And there were scenarios, I can give you one example is in early days, in my young professional days, I was just getting started in my career. I mean, I've been already 10 years, but working as a developer and working as an engineer, they couple of the leaders is they have put me into learning data. They have put me into learning AI. So they have mobilized me in every area. So I would just wonder and think is, you know my title goes differently than what things where I was doing in the organization, making me more adaptable, of course. But I haven't seen and realized the reason why the leader was making me do multiple things, like whether it is data, AI, product development. They would push me into areas which I was exploring and learning things, which I have not done prior. And I believe that I would be able to do only one thing, but they showed me put under different aspects to do multiple things that which I never realized that I had the potential for. And that just happened that they saw the potential in me and they realized that I could do more than what I could do. I have done my
Right.
master's in artificial intelligence and computer science, and there were times where I'm following the trend and I was doing, the ERP system, something else apart from what I was meant to do. And the first question the leader came and they asked me was, "Hey, what are you doing here? You're doing, I mean, it's you're doing SAP. That was, the thing of the time, like 10 or 15 years back. So you tend to go in ways where the trend is going, not really understanding where you're passionate and what really you can do. I think they have saw that in me and they have given me an opportunity and they put me, in fact, not by choice. In fact, they put me in every area where I could learn, understand different aspects of it. And trust me, Emily, that process has, evolved me into such a person. In next 3 years, I've become the head of artificial intelligence and product development and data. I was heading entire enterprise, end-to-end solutions, scaling AIs, doing product development, doing app development, doing data. Like I could think about it, that has changed so many areas of my life that no matter what it is, it has, we have the potential to do many things, but we need to understand what really aligns with our values and what are our core values. And that's I think that was one of the experience, definitely, Emily, is where I feel that it gave me an opportunity and propelled me
Yeah.
for my, the last 10 years. That's where I found my passion, and I've been working, and now I'm an AI thought leader, and I've been very fortunate to find my passion and what I'm really good at it, right? Not improving on what I was not what was not my strengths, but working on my not on my weakness, but working on my strengths, and identifying that.
What a good takeaway, not only for the leaders in the room, but for us as individuals, if we're not leaders yet, to really try to lean into our strengths and to find those key things that drive us. What's our why? And then for leaders to give the people that you're leading that opportunity to try to mentor and guide them into something that they're passionate about instead of just nitpicking all of the things that they did wrong and their mistakes. Amazing story. How would you say, when we talk about like mentorship and community and support, playing these critical roles to help people in their career advancement? And I'm talking particularly for women in STEM fields. Studies show that just 70% of women attribute their career success to having a mentor or a support network. So it's so important. I think you just told that story right now as well, how you're contributing a lot of your success to your mentors.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead,
Such
please.
an amazing story. I think, what exists out there in terms of having these mentors and supports, or if we can't find those, do we just become those mentors for the people under us to start building that thought of mentorship?
Yes, great question, Emily. And as you see that, I've been emphasizing from the beginning the importance of mentors and the importance of having the leaders, right? And I think one of the thing I want to advise all the young professionals and every professionals, right, who are looking for help, right? You need mentors, right? We are not alone in this journey. And you need mentors in every aspect, whether it is your health, whether it is your professional career growth. You can achieve your goals much faster than what you can imagine. And I think that's where I have realized very early in my life is having mentors, getting help will help you accelerate, will help you see the corners where you are not looking at it. They will help you in unlocking the potential. In fact, as I mentioned in my story, in my journey itself, every single leader I have met, they have helped me, shaped me in some form or the other. They help me when I'm at point, when I'm in my rock bottom, they help me to lift me up. They help me to, guide me what the courses I need to be doing, right? What are the things I need to be doing in my career? So there are the importance of having mentorship. I cannot emphasize enough. And of course, there are the way you get mentors are you need to ask. That's the number one rule is you need to identify, you need to align the leader who your core values match to your core values. And I think that's the secret behind every successful person. They do have mentors who align to their core values, and you need to just ask. And people are willing to help, and that's what has happened in my life as well. Is until unless you get up, you ask, you understand that you need help, nobody is going to help you out. And of course, they lay a great platform for us to succeed. Even in your organizations, I see that there are so many people, they feel alone in the journey. But I think it's important to speak up. It's important to communicate with your leaders, with your team members, how you feel, what help you need. And it's okay to fail fast, right? And it's okay to learn. And that's exactly boils down to where you need a culture. It's okay where failure is not determined on your judging you, but it should be fail fast attitude, where your ability to learn and relearn and unlearn is so important. In fact, Emily.
It seems like such simple advice, but I remember young in my career, the hardest thing for me was to ask. It can feel very scary to ask for that help, but such good advice for these young professionals starting their journey, whether their journey's in AI or not in AI, is don't be afraid to ask. I love that. So transitioning into generative AI, specifically in healthcare, which is something I know you're passionate and very excited to talk about. We were talking about how AI's impact on research and development has affected the healthcare field, and I'm really intrigued on your work in rare disease. I'd love to hear more about how it's revolutionizing this field. So for our audience, let's just start with an overview of some of your rare disease research and, potential consequences for these individuals and these families that are being affected by rare diseases.
Absolutely, Emily. I think this, everybody must be surprised. I'm currently working in in different industries, helping, I'm also an advisor in different industries. The healthcare, I would, this project, especially in rare diseases, is very, very personal to me. In some form and shape and form, I've been impacted with a couple of the family members, and there is a very deeper why for me to even to start the research project in rare diseases. But what I've seen is my observation personally, me being in AI for last 15 years, thoroughly into this field, being an expert in this field. And when I've been exposed to the healthcare side of the rare diseases, especially, what I've observed is and I was doing a little bit more research on what is this exactly, understanding what the rare diseases and what the causal of the rare diseases. I was literally surprised as there are 400 million people affected worldwide by 7 to 10, and there are like around 7 to 10,000 kinds of rare genetic diseases, and these are all genetically imposed diseases. And half of those rare diseases, surprisingly, are neurology or neuromuscular conditions. So making these conditions one of the leading cause for ill health or disability or impacting mortality rate. And these are not, these are pretty much life-threatening conditions for children who are going through these conditions or even adults who are going through these conditions. And the aspect, Emily, is 90% of these treatments, they have no treatments. 90% have no treatments for this. And you can imagine, and even the available treatments, they're costing around $1 to $3 million per one single dosage. Yes, it is. It is really, the fact is, it's very rare. The treatments are very rare to available, and even the available treatments are extremely expensive. And one of the challenges is, you guys must have heard about gene therapies that has come in 2023. And this is like a ray of hope for children and adults who are going through rare diseases, where it's able to save from life-threatening conditions. So it's literally a hope. And they have researched this project for 20 years, and they have come up with the medicine in 2023. And in fact, it's only for they're just starting off for children, but they're trying to expand to adults as well, but it's still not yet there. And this medicine is right now available only in US and in Saudi, and it's not available in any other countries. But you can imagine the children and the adults who are waiting for the medicine. They don't have much time. In fact, right, every day is very crucial for these kids and adults who are going through this rare condition. So there is a huge urgency, very, very huge urgency in having this global reach for this medicine to reach globally. And not just reaching the medicine globally, but also accelerating, reducing the cost and the timeline it takes to bring up with this new innovation. In fact, we are very lucky to be in a country where we have access to availability to insurance, right? To able to pay, in worst scenarios, we are able to afford millions of dollars of treatments we are able to afford. And we are able to afford the best technology in this world, where you are in the country where the best medicines are available. But I think it becomes a part of us, it becomes very important as leaders, is when you see such problems, we need to think and see is how can we contribute with our AI being the revolution of the next industry, how we can contribute to make the real world impact. It's not just always the other's problem, right? It's not just about pharmaceutical companies who are doing it. I think it's what's very important, and in my journey I've seen, is when you see a challenge, it's very important to see how you can have a personal impact, because every single drop in an ocean makes a difference. And I think that's how my journey has started, is trying to understand these challenges. How can really AI be, since AI is revolutionizing in the treatment, and
Yeah.
it can make miracles in bringing the medicine faster, and in fact precision medicine faster. So that's I think that's one of the potential reasons of why this research is very, very important. And there are several people who are, the researchers are also, there are many researchers, clinicians are working in this space day in and now to find answers for rare treatments, rare
Yeah.
diseases.
So interesting to find that medicine just now, last year. How is AI specifically reshaping this research and discovery process that's happening with drugs and for rare disease? What impact do you think AI specifically is having on that research and discovery?
Absolutely, Emily. In fact, it's been a year for me deeper into this research and how AI can be leveraged, right? There are several. I want to give some examples. For example, in the traditional way, like, of course, AI is no doubt transforming healthcare on rare diseases,
Yeah.
what I'm seeing in is it's definitely accelerating the research and drug discovery and development in an unprecedented ways. And if you have to look at it, the traditional drug discovery and development, as I mentioned earlier, is it typically takes 10 to 15 years for a medicine to come out, right?
Wow.
And in oncology, already there's so much of research that has gone into it that the medicine that used to take a longer time, now with AI, they're able to bring it out within 18 months or less than 2 years. They're able to bring medicine faster. That means the process they used to take for discovering the medicine, researching the medicine, developing the medicine, it used to take pretty long time, and people are dying or people are suffering, right? And this technology has brought in so much of revolution that it can accelerate and bring down the time as well as the cost. And literally 1/4 of the cost the medicine could be developed now. That's the potential of AI. And it's very important for us to see is this is not just transforming industries in healthcare, in every sector. We are able to unlock the efficiencies, unlock the productivity gains, unlock every opportunity how it can save lives with this technology. And that's what I say is AI is now heavily leveraged across the whole development, whether it is research, drug discovery, drug development, or even the clinicians, right? They want to leverage AI because it's helping to get a holistic view of the patients. Like with generative AI right now, you ask a question and it's able to answer you about your patient and even the diagnosis of the patient, right? Just with the symptoms. I think
Wow.
that's where the future of medicine, it's artificial intelligence and generative AI. And now that we are in the new era of agentic AI, which is very important for all of us, is shaping the whole future of how we should be leveraging AI in the healthcare and as well as other industries as such.
I think everybody in our audience that's been to a doctor or has a family member that maybe has to go to the doctor often. I have a type 1 diabetic, and so I get really excited about this topic and just thinking of the impact that it can have on our children, on our experiences, on the speed of care, and really even on our finances. I know that's a big struggle for a lot of us that have children with chronic illnesses. That's very exciting. The fear around AI sometimes is, the security. And when we think about the highly regulated nature of industries like healthcare, how can we ensure that these AI frameworks prioritize our data privacy, of course, and are compliant with not only driving this innovation and these meaningful outcomes, but how do we kind of protect the privacy and the compliance factors?
Yes, Emily, that's a great question and it's a very important question, I can say, right? Because the privacy, you cannot compromise the patient's privacy at all, right? And the data privacy. And it's a huge topic, not just for healthcare, but it's a common topic for all the organizations. Is now that we are using generative AI, it's able to generate new information for you, new content for you, right? It is always, and even the healthcare industry where it is more federated for us, how do we securely, I think there are very different techniques that has come up. Even the government agencies or FDA as well, they have come up with the frameworks what we healthcare industries can be leveraging and using it, right? One of it is definitely the federated learning. The way we can implement federated learning techniques to train models across decentralized data sources without compromising the patient privacy. So you need to actually don't have to bring your data to the data lake to train your model, but you can send your models into the area where you have the data without accessing, you can train the models. And explainable AI is another huge, area where we need to incorporate techniques to ensure transparency, right, and interpretability of AI decisioning. How is any decisioning is made, and you need to see it's not just a black box, but for clinicians, healthcare researchers, pharmaceutical companies, they need to see is how these decisions are made when AI is able to tell about a patient or holistic view about the patient. How is that decisions made in treatment optimization, right, or cell therapy or gene therapy optimizations? So it becomes very important, which is very crucial for any compliance and clinicians to have that trust, is to bring that explainable AI. And another one is definitely HIPAA compliance. There are many platforms these days where, like AWS and other platforms, where they are HIPAA compliant. They provide you the framework for any implement robust data encryption and access controls. And also, we have so many solutions and frameworks and platforms that have come up where they're able to provide regular security updates or audits and risk assessments around it, right? And of course, we need to establish comprehensive data governance policies. That's one of the important aspects I see. Next is ethical framework, right? Ethical, where you're able to create an ethical framework and establish AI ethics committee to see the development and deployment of the AI systems. So I think these are the things which also apply commonly to every industry, not just healthcare, where explainability, how you can bring in ethical biasness and security around these systems as we are incorporating into our day-to-day lives. And it's a very important topic. And if you guys want to learn more about it, please feel free to ping me offline, and I'll be more than happy to help you guys.
Yeah, well, I like that you are tackling that important topic because the results and the impact are so huge that we can't ignore, making it a sustainable and ethical practice so that we can get to these outcomes. Before we conclude, I mean, when I talked about your bio and you have children and you have a job and you're doing all of this research in universities, I mean, you are juggling so many things, such a high demand career and commitments with your research activities. So, how do you maintain this work-life balance and give the audience some tips? I know I could use it as a mom and a career woman as well.
Thanks, you, Emily. Yeah, as a woman, you understand our challenges. I think you don't have. I don't have to explicitly mention it, but I know as a woman, it gives us another huge challenge. Of our family is always a top priority, no matter what. And whatever we do is for our families and for our children, for our spouses, right? So it's definitely, I say, is they are the foundation of everything. The family is the foundation, and they give you the reason of why what you do. I think that's a greater reason for every single person here, is giving that importance to your family, and understanding that they are the source and reason why you do everything in your life. So, and that's a source of inspiration for me as well, is my children, my spouse, and my parents, blessed to have that. The second is my organization, the current organization I'm working with, CBRE, and the previous organization, give us a support system, right? They understand what you're personally going through. I think without them, we are not today here what we are today, able to do, reflect, and go back and do so many things across the industry. So I really want is to thank all my CBRE or my other organizations where they have given me a platform, understood my personal things, helped me accommodate, right? It's not just we being accommodated in the organization. They provide us an environment for us to accommodate and provide us a platform where we are able to grow, where we are able to do more than what we are and unlocking our potential opportunities. So definitely my organizations have played a huge role in supporting us where we are today. And of course, any projects, anything you want to do, there's always a strong reason of why. Luckily I found my passion. AI has been, as I can just say that this is not just because I was following a trend. It is somebody has helped me out unlock, and they have given me an opportunity to see what I really like. And as I mentioned to you early, is where I was doing data, AI, and other areas. And I think this is where I really love to do what I'm doing today. And it gives me the energy. It gives me the reason of why I need to do every single day, to do more, whether to my organization or whether to outside industry, to bring value to the real world problems. Is just because I think the passion is very true. If you find your passion, you will never feel anything difficult. So my advice to all the women out there is find your passion. Do not go with the trends, right? You need to align to who you are, what really works for you, right? And what really is your strengths, identifying as a woman what's your strength is. And that will give you a next level of confidence to whom you are, and it will take you to the next level. And everything will be very effortlessly, you will be able to do it. And the support from your surroundings makes a huge difference.
Well, you're very blessed that your passion and trends are aligning in 2025, because both of them are, AI is both your passion and your trend this year. So amazing. For our final portion, we are going to do a rapid fire round. So we have 5 questions prepared, and I want you just to give the first answer that comes to your head, a 1-word answer. So hopefully you can think of something fast. Our first question is, which female tech icon, could be past or present, would you want to be for just one day?
There are many as such. I think it's Indra Nui. If I have to choose her, she's the former CEO of PepsiCo. Very dynamic lady.
Oh, amazing. And your favorite productivity hack in just 1 word?
You're making it difficult saying it's 1 word, but I'm going to say that. I think it's going to be the Pomodoro technique, the 25 intervals followed by a short break.
Oh, see, I thought it was going to be AI. Biggest tech in 2025.
I think the AI's potential for misuse.
That's a good one. And virtual reality or artificial intelligence?
Definitely AI.
And your work personality?
I think I'm very adaptable.
That's a good word to explain you. In the little time I've been getting to know you, I can hear that in your story. Adaptability was a big part of your success, it sounds like.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Naveena. I mean, I'm very grateful for all of our listeners that have also tuned in to listen to this session. I hope you gained valuable insights. I had so many key takeaways, both as a leader and as somebody that's working with leaders above me, just to be asking more for help when I need it, not being scared to make mistakes, and to find your why, really to follow your passion so you don't ever feel like work is work. So I think we've explored all of these critical importance of women supporting other women and mentoring each other, and particularly in the field of AI. I think this support becomes even more crucial as we witness AI's profound impacts. Its ability to diagnose rare diseases, to help with treatment, to speed all of this up, to make it more affordable. These advancements, they're not only providing answers to patients, but their families, and enabling those steps to improve during this pre-diagnosis and treatment process. So thank you for shedding light on all of this and making us more familiar with these topics. We want to next
Thank you,
open-
Elmi.
Yes.
Thank you so much. It's been I think it's phenomenal. Great questions, and I appreciate. Thank you so much.
Yeah, if we can stay for a little bit longer, we're going to open the floor to the audience so they can ask any questions that they had from our session today. I'm going to go ahead and open that up for any of you listening. Please feel free to answer or to ask Naveena questions. Also, you can find her on LinkedIn. At least send her an inbox message. Let her know that you listened to the session and that you enjoyed it. And you can find her there. We'll make sure that the link is available to everybody listening. I'm going to go ahead and open it up for questions. Oh, I think they come in via text, so I think I've got to read them. I was thinking everyone would unmute. Okay, so we have a question from Kartik. In your experience, what are some practical ways that organizations can build mentorship programs, specifically to empower women that are in STEM fields?
Absolutely. I think that's really a great question. And I think organizations are there is a huge need for it. I think it's really a brilliant question. The reason I say is I still see there is a gap where women need to be more supported, and in spite of not every company, every organization have that. I mean, that's again boils down to the culture, right? Where you need to provide platform for women understanding them. So definitely, the way I'm looking at it is we need to have programs where they can have these women mentorship programs, recognitions for the women in tech, especially, right? Having when they feel recognized, when they feel valued, I think they can do wonders, right? So it's equally having that support system in an organization where they can build that frameworks, build society and group to form where they can have constant help when they need for women in tech.
Yeah, good. And we have another question here. What emerging AI trends or skill sets should young professionals focus on to stay relevant and excel in this competitive field?
Yeah, I think that's also a very good question. In fact, I wanted to cover this, and I think it's a good question to ask. So I think definitely, as you guys see, that AI is creating revolution. It's transforming the way we live, the way we operate, the businesses are operating, right? And even the way doctors, lawyers, teachers are using AI in day-to-day basis. So it becomes to improve their productivity or efficiencies, right? So I think it becomes very crucial and important for everyone to learn AI. So there is no exceptional, right? It is either you learn AI or to learn the applications of AI that can be leveraged to gain productivity and efficiencies in your area, right? And for coming back to the question, if you're really starting your journey in AI or advancing your career in AI, I think there are a couple of things I would like to give you guys, right? One is find your niche area of interest in AI and consider specializing it. I see this, the reason is AI is huge. There's so many technologies, whether it's machine learning, deep learning, natural language processing, generative AI, right? Or agentic AI. There are so many technologies, but I think it's important, right? We cannot have our hands on everything, right? You need to find that niche specialization, adopt and align to what technologies where it's more closer to you and more closer to consider specializing. For example, I will say is you can specialize in natural language processing. right? It's an NLP technology where anything relevant to your ability for you to have this natural language processing, you should be able to specialize in NLP, right? And you can specialize in virtual reality, right? You can specialize in deep learning technologies, right? So find what is more relevant for your interests and align that niche area and specialize it. Second is, as you guys asked me, is master the fundamentals. This is the very, very important advice I can give to everybody, where we are trying to learn new technologies, which is coming every single day. But when we ask leaders in most of the interviews, is we ask for basic foundations. We check for base foundationals, right? So consider learning programming languages, like people who are entering new in this journey. Start with Python, essential math concepts, and core machine learning techniques, right? And there are several resources available on YouTube. And just see what really fits for your needs and learn. I've followed, I think, over the years, Krish Nayak and Code Basics. There are a couple of them. I feel that it's more relevant for me, but it could be different. There are so many. Please feel free to ping me. I can provide you more resources on how to master your fundamentals, right? Second is, you need to stay current with your adapt new technologies. You need to know, like, today is, last year everybody must have heard about generative AI and co-pilots and the RAG techniques. I think now it's a time for agentic. It's revolutionizing the way we do things and autonomously how it can be done. So I really ask everybody is understand, learn about what are these agents, what are these potential capabilities for your organizations, where it can provide value for it. So definitely agentic AI is the third wave of AI in trend, which you need to focus on. But prior to that, master your fundamentals and then find your niche area in specializing. And then probably, you need to go with the trend, with the current trends, and adapt to what your current trends are.
Yeah, good advice. This question is interesting, actually. What's one advancement in technology or AI that you believe should not have been developed, or you feel that it's negatively impacted human generation?
Oh, that's a very good question.
I know.
Yeah, it's a very good question. In fact, I feel the real struggle is, the way the synthetic data and the video generation, right? They're able to generate videos, they're able to generate images, right? And I think it becomes very difficult even to understand what is the reality versus, I mean, it can be definitely misused. The technology of, how the generative AI can be definitely misused if it's in wrong hands. And I think it becomes responsible for us as we are in a new era of this AI. With it comes the advantages and the advantages what it comes with AI, and also we need to deal with the side effects it can bring it to the table. And I think every technology has some kind of areas where we need to mitigate it, but definitely videos and video generation, audio generation, those could be very dangerous. And also, like, when you ask question, the ability is providing all the information. So getting in wrong hands could be very difficult, right?
It's deep fakes. Any books or podcasts that have helped you grow your mindset, especially in developing an approach like failing fast, or even some people who have helped you develop, such as your thought process?
Yes, I think there are several books. I can definitely think about it, and I can ping you guys. There are, but what I say is, one thing is the 5 a.m. Club is by Robin Sharma. I would definitely recommend that book. right? And The Leader with No Titles, right? That's also a very nice book, right? And there are several books where I actually follow for AI and generative AI, and I think definitely there are leaders who have shaped me, and I'm part of PLA as Personal Leadership Academy as well. And I emphasize that even to the point where I am today, I still have mentorship programs. I take mentorship programs where they are personally train me, mentor me, guide me to the ups and downs and what the new areas I have to. So thanks to my mentors as well from PLA, who have been great resources for me.
Excellent. We have a couple more questions. Actually, we're getting a nice amount here. So, do you believe that we will be able to see agentic AI applications in medicine anytime soon?
That's the dream where we want to, and in fact that's my research is also is in fact soon I will be, I think, let me disclose this, I will be writing a book for agentic AI and precision medicine for rare diseases. I'm starting this year, and I'll be making an announcement. I think I'm making an announcement here itself in
You are. Congratulations.
Thank you, Emily. But I think it's important, this new technologies and the ways we can navigate and mitigate the FDA, the compliance. But it's a technology where it can create waves and it can accelerate medicine. It can accelerate, bring precision medicine faster, and it'll help in many ways. So definitely agentic AI, I see it's very near, and government agencies are building up frameworks already, right? They see the potential of it, and I'm also working very closely with DRC, with different government agencies and policies, defining these policies for both state and federal, what really the AI framework should be and how do we mitigate it. So healthcare is one of the big factors, areas where there are government agencies and FDA, they're coming up with policies where they can adapt, but they can even still have these new technologies. So it's coming, and I see already certain organizations are leveraging it.
Okay, we have another question here from Rupesh. How do you envision AI playing a larger role in healthcare outside of research, particularly in patient care or operational efficiency?
Yeah, I think that's a great question too. As I mentioned, not just AI in drug discovery and AI in drug development, there is a huge gap for patient care management. In fact, rare disease management solutions or even patient care management solutions, right? For example, the real-time monitoring of the symptom tracking. There are so many patients who currently need continuous monitoring to let them know about their metrics, right? And whether how's their heart functioning, or whether people going through diabetes, they need to know. So I think the real-time monitoring of the AI systems with these new devices that has come in, medical devices that you can leverage, where you can actually get the holistic view of the patients, right? So that's I think that's a very good question, because there is a huge area of improvements for researchers around this area for improving and leveraging artificial intelligence.
Okay, we have another question here. How can an engineering student starting their career in 2025 build a pathway to specialize in utilizing artificial intelligence for solving medical problems and aiding in diagnosis?
Absolutely. As I mentioned, whether you're going into any industry for leveraging AI into any industry, I think the most important fundamental thing is mastering the fundamentals of AI, right? Understand, focus on programming languages, the math concepts, core machine learning principles. specialize in one of the technologies, whether it is generative AI or agentic AI, right? Specialize in a couple of the technologies, what it aligns to you, and then see what it can. And then you specialize in your healthcare, right? It could be any domain and how it can be leveraged. So all the technologies, what we talked about, whether it is generative AI or agentic AI, or whether it is machine learning techniques, they are currently leveraged to in healthcare, and how you can leverage in healthcare. So my advice is understand and fundamentals in AI, learn the core concepts of AI, and take some real life use cases where you can apply these AI onto those use cases and get some hands-on experience, and you can definitely get it.
Great advice. Yeah. We have a comment here from Stefan that's an opinion very much mirrors a lot of what you've been saying. Build a strong academic foundation, gain practical experience, develop AI and data science skills, have a network and mentorship, and stay updated with emerging trends. It's a great recap, Stefan. Yes. So that was all of our questions here today. It's as if the questions planned for our session to be about an hour. Thank you so much, Naveena. You were inspiring, amazing to listen to, such an impressive journey. Oh, I think we're getting one more. Okay, so in the comments, you can see the links. We've included Naveena's LinkedIn profile, so you can go ahead and follow her there. Also, our email here at Polestar. If you do have any further questions or want to connect, we're here and we'd love to hear from you. Naveena, any parting?
Thank you so much. It's been my pleasure to take all these questions, impactful questions. And I want to thank all the audience who've been here, patiently listening, and for all the questions you've given us. So it's always, you guys inspire us. And I think anything you have, please feel free to connect with me on my LinkedIn profile, or you can reach out to Emily if you have any questions.